Right, so I'm gonna swing at you. In the air, actually it's vigilant, so swing at you, get toxic 2, so you're gonna get 2 poison counters. I'm also going to cast this little guy. You're gonna get another poison counter with that one. And I got tab 4. Gonna proliferate. And so you're gonna get another poison counter. And then this one actually, I'm gonna activate this ability here. You're gonna get another poison counter. How many does that give you now?
Striker, you're doing it again.
What?
I told you. You keep doing that toxic Phyrexianity.
The names. Drakar Lightherder.
Lady Celestria.
Together we are Celestial Strike. Y'all, we are live on the Twitch. We are getting it off and popping. Shout out to everybody that is rolling through right now and saying what's up. But for our YouTube fam,
on the YouTube,
this will be later. But we are recording it live on Twitch. So if you haven't already, follow the Twitch channel. Drop a sub, anything like that. Just
pop in there.
Helps out a lot.
Yeah.
But what we're talking about today is, and when we were talking about this in our Twitch chat before we started recording, just to peel back the curtain a little bit, can't figure out how to pronounce it. Ixhel is what one of our awesome Celestials is saying. We also heard Ixhel, which I'm like, I don't know. But basically the theme right here is going to be toxic Phyrexianity. A lot of toxic counters, which are poison counters. The difference between the two is like infect. It just says infect whatever the power is of that creature. That's how many poison counters can get put on it, right? But in toxic, however many toxic is, like if it's toxic 2, doesn't matter what the power of the creature is, you're only going to get that many poison counters. Are you tracking with me so far? Does it seem like it makes sense?
Yes.
Anyway, one that we're looking at here, like I said, Ixhel? Someone's saying that in the chat. Ixhel. Scion of Atraxa. So, like we're saying, it's 1 and then a white, black and green. So 4 total for a 2/5 flying vigilance toxic 2 Phyrexian Angel.
Yikes.
So here's the fun thing. There's this new mechanic called Corrupted. So at the beginning of your end step, each opponent who has 3 or more poison counters exiles the top card of their library face down. We're able to look at it at any time, and we can actually cast those cards as long as they remain exiled and spend mana any way, or spend mana of any color to cast those spells.
Nice.
Not usually the decks that we build, but I saw this one and I was like,
it's interesting.
This has got to be it.
It's got some spice.
So I was doing this. Obviously, you want to put all the poison counters on. So you're thinking like, okay, let's get all the toxic creatures. Let's get the infect. Let's do it that way. Well, I built it that way, but also I wanted to get a way to do it other than and more creative than just like hit to face and give them poison counters, right? Like you're going to become a target. It's going to be tough to get through eventually in a game. So you really want to make sure you have a different outlet and a different win con other than, hey, I have to get through with my toxic creatures and get those poison counters on, because you might be able to knock out like one player with it. But what you really want to do is add those counters other ways other than direct damage. Does that make sense? So we'll get into how all that looks, but we like to do it in a specific order. So let's talk about like your mana rocks, right? So whenever
Soul Ring Classic, obviously.
Your staples for us.
Signet, Commander Sphere.
I mean, that just seems like
gotta have them, obvi.
Just seems like that is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Your other ones might be like Firemind Vessel, some Gilded Lotus, stuff like that. I mean,
I'm into it.
Those are pretty standard for us. I don't know how y'all typically do it. But if you have any that feel like they should be in there that aren't, let us know. But to me, that seems pretty straightforward. Like, get just your basic staple mana rocks in there. What you really want to do is start getting into, like, when you go into your ramp. That's whenever you're able to use your mana dorks, like, your 2-drop green ones, right? Like, if you have green in the color identity of the commander, probably want to have a few of these in there.
Incubation, obviously.
Yeah, go through these.
Paradise Druid, and then the mirror convert. I always pronounce it wrong, so
yeah. So like with Incubation and Paradise, you're going to be able to tap one of any color that you have, and then the Incubation, you actually get to add the counters, and if it has counters, you get to tap for triple the mana. And then the Mirror Construct or Convert, it's a 2-drop. You can pay 2 life and add the mana of any color. I'm not really worried about it. Life is a resource in EDH, but the fun thing is that it has Toxic 2, right? Was it Toxic 1? But either way,
still,
so it's a toxic and a mana dork at the same time. It's like kind of going with the whole theme here. So yeah, just felt like that made sense. We already talked about Paradise Druid, but actually I think that was all of them. I think those are all the rocks or the dorks that we used for this. Weirdly enough, I think that was for a different deck altogether. Trying to think if we. Oh, here we go. So we had Rampant Growth. So we're going to go and search for a card, as well as Cultivate. So go and search for your land. Then Rolling Regrowth's nice. Get to sack a land, search your library for 2 basic land cards, put it on the battlefield. You're good. So it's kind of your basic ramp spells. Nothing special, nothing crazy. Any that we missed, let us know. But kind of just laying the groundwork.
Wasn't all of it either. We're just kind of
just some highlights of them, and more of suggestions rather than things like you have to have. Things that maybe start getting a little bit more in there is like your artifacts. So when you're looking at artifacts for this deck, man, I'm trying to recall. Oh, here we go. So, Lady C, why don't we take a look at these?
Okay, Contagion. Clasp, 2-drop. Whenever it enters the battlefield, put a -1/-1 counter on target creature, and then you can pay 4 and tap it and proliferate, which is nice.
So, like I was saying with the win cons at the beginning, so you can hit to the face and put poison counters on people. And what is the amount? What is it? 10 poison counters?
10, I think, is what's.
Is that what kills people?
Yeah.
Y'all let us know on that, but I want to say it's 10. So it is 10.
Yeah, 10.
Flanksy confirmed. So it's 10 to get to the to the death, lethal. What I'm trying to say for the players, but you can't get through. You got like a Toxic 2 or a Toxic 1. Whenever you go back into the artifacts, you can actually just pay 4 proliferate. You're going to add those counters to it. That's what proliferation is. So you're actually going to be able to add poison counters to people without even having to touch them. So kind of the play here, and we'll get in more into it later, but you want to just kind of dink, dink, dink everybody, kind of spread the love with the poison counters. Then you're going to proliferate and just keep adding it without even having to swing at anybody. So anyway, so Infested Flesh Cutters, another one that I feel like should be on here. Quick creature's going to get +2, +0, but whenever that a creature attacks, you're going to create a 3/3 colorless Phyrexianity artifact creature token with Toxic 1, and this creature can't block. You can equip it for 2 and a white.
Oh, I think that's a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian.
Oh, does it say 1/1? Did I say 3/3?
1/1. You said 3.
You
liar.
Anyway, so if we move on to the other one, Staff of Completion. This is a new one from all will be one as well. So it's an artifact 3-drop. You can tap it, pay a life, destroy target permanent you own, which we don't usually use that for that. No Hand says that's what she said. So pay 2 life, add 1 mana of any color, so you can use it as a mana rock. But here's the fun part. Pay 3 life when you tap it, proliferate. Then you can pay 5 to untap it, then do the whole thing over again. So that's where you're kind of getting some more of these little win cons, you know what I mean? As far as everything else goes, I like this one as well to put in there. Lady C, take a look.
Contagion Engine. Whenever Contagion Engine enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on each creature target player controls, and then you can pay 4, tap it, and proliferate, then proliferate again. That is a 6-drop.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. If you can just get the poison counters on, just proliferate right up behind it, and just everybody hates you. So
hate you.
Also,
speaking of hating you,
gotta have some removal in there, right? Is we got black and white in here. We gotta figure out what's going on with removing spells. Jawesh is asking, do we have enchantment removal? Feel like solemnity. This is going to be seen a lot for a while. For some reason, that one's not drawn. It's not coming up top of mind. I don't know if I necessarily have that one in here, but drop it in the chat or in the Discord. Let us know which one that is. Let me see if this thingy's working. Look at this. Boom. It's not.
No.
Players can't get counters. Oh, interesting.
So we would
rough.
need something to remove the enchantment.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense. So an enchantment that says, they can't get counters. We got to find a way to destroy that.
Yes, we love control.
Yeah, as you guys know, we love control. Removal, though, first. Blood Chief's Thirst. So it's just a 1-drop. If you just do it as a 1-drop, you can kill something that is a converted mana cost 2 or less. But if you kick it, which is for an extra 2 and a black, you actually get to destroy just any target creature or planeswalker. So it's pretty nice. Swords to Plowshares, great 1-drop. You just go ahead and exile target creature. Their controller does gain life equal to the power,
but it is only one.
But it's a 1-drop removal. So I mean, come on. Ossification. I see some people talking about it too in the chat. It's awesome. I guess this is kind of. Well, no, it's just target creature or planeswalker. Anyway, it's a 1 and a white, and you're going to have it enter the battlefield on a land. So this is important to remember. So, like, you're enchanting a land, right? Most land enchantments I see, like, let you add mana or something, like an extra mana, or, hey, add a 1/1 counter or something like that, right? This one is actually exiling target creature or planeswalker and opponent controls until that ossification leaves the battlefield. So it's a little tougher to, deal with if it's on a land usually. So that's kind of nice to me. And it's like people are saying, ossification's awesome, especially with the new Norn coming out. Alesh he's a bitch. So I think everybody knows that. Anyway, Lady C, some other ones.
Infectious Bile. 1 and 2, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power. Each opponent gets a poison counter each.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Yeah, that's another way that I'm talking about. So.
Smell Fear. You get to proliferate, and then target creature you control fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. So these are kind of like Rapid Bite.
Yeah, except you get to proliferate.
A little extra nasty.
Right. Yep.
So spread the sickness, destroy target creature, then proliferate. So I don't know if y'all are seeing a theme here, but we got some proliferation.
You like to proliferate. Also, we got Wanderer's Strike. It's 4 and a white. You exile target creature, then you proliferate. Y'all sensing a theme here. And then I just got a normal Doomscar in there, just normal board wipe. Just if you want to have a board wipe in there, it's a good one. You can foretell it, play it later whenever the thing gets out of control. Speaking of control, we got a lot of control spells in this deck, so bear with us. All right, let's get into them. Oh, wait, no control. This how you're supposed to build a fucking Magic deck. You know what I'm saying? Got him. So no, there's no control in here. I didn't even do it. I don't even think there's a counter spell in here. I just straight up I went with whatever I got. Anyway, let's talk about the combos. Some people are really upset about the control thing. So let's talk about the combos. The main combo that I'm looking for. I think we touched on one of the cards already. Yeah. So, like I said, you can just go straight for the face. You're going to have to most of the time to get those 2 on with Atraxa. But then you do the Infectious Bite right behind it. Now you're adding that 3rd poison counter that you need for the corrupted ability that Ixhel has.
Ixhel.
We're still shaky on that pronunciation. Comment below and in the chat too if we're wrong on that. So Ixhel gets the 2 on there. Then we get the 3rd one with Infectious Bite plus probably removing something, right? And now we can start exiling cards off the top of people's libraries, and we're good, right?
And stealing their stuff. But here's the great.
Flanksy said, "Mr. Steal Your Win Con."
Mr. Steal Your Win Con. That's what we're doing right here. And then the final piece of the puzzle, you get to it, Plane Wide Celebration. It is a 7-drop. It's expensive, but you get to choose 4. And you may choose one mode more than once. So I can either create a 2/2 citizen creature token. That's all colors. Probably not. I can return a target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Maybe. Here's the fun one. Proliferate. So we get to choose Proliferate. And correct me if I'm wrong, we can choose it more than once. It means we can choose it all 4 times, right? Am I wrong on this? We can choose it all 4 times on that. We can choose it at least twice, right? It says more than once.
I don't know. Sure, saying that this sounds like control. So sure, this is rude, but it's not technically considered control.
Yeah, like, not control.
Yeah, it's rude.
It is rude. Stealing and killing, definitely not control. See, that's what we're saying. You know what I mean?
There's no counter spells.
Yeah, I made sure there was no counters so that it wouldn't be questioned.
I was just saying.
Well,
bitchy.
It is bitchy.
It's rude.
But
it's rude.
You know, it is what it is. Anyway, so more combos. Just kidding. Y'all thought. And so that's the main combo that I'm trying to pull out is that, right? And no, it is not control. Yeah, only counter spells is control. That's what I'm trying to say. Guess people are finally catching on to this. You know what I mean? Like, how many times have we had to say it? Anyway, let's talk about synergy. So, obviously you need synergy in a deck, but most of the synergy we're going to have is, like I said, trying to add the poison counters in more creative ways.
Got big deck synergy.
Big deck synergy. So, Lady C, what do we got over here?
We got
Skrelv, I think. Yeah.
Skrelv. Sorry, it's kind of small. That's what she said. Oh, God. Skrelv Defector Meyer. Might. That's what she said. Toxic 1. So it's just a 1-drop, and then it can't block, but you can pay.
Phyrexian white, which means you can either pay a white or you can pay 2 life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So choose a color. Another target creature you control gains Toxic 1 and hexproof from that color until end of turn. It can't be blocked by creatures of that color this turn.
Yup.
And then we've got Venerated Rot Priest. Another Toxic 1 for another 1-drop. Whenever a creature you control becomes a target of a spell, target opponent gets a poison counter. Ooh.
Yeah.
And then for a 2-drop, we have Duelist of Deep Faith. It is a Phyrexian soldier. Oh, these are all Phyrexian.
Yes.
Toxic 1. And then as long as it's your turn, Duelist of Deep Faith has first strike.
Yeah. So pretty nice. And we said it's toxic.
Phyrexianity. Phyrexianity.
Yeah.
Phyrexianity.
It's something like that. With Ixhel, which we're hoping is the actual pronunciation. Ab, what's going on? Good to see you.
What up?
Shout out to everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
let's talk about some more. So we got
Pestilent.
Siphoner. These are all new cards, so I'm still trying to figure out how to pronounce these damn things. It's 1 and a black, so 2 drop for a flying toxic 1, and it's only a 1/1, but flying and toxic.
Toxic.
Let's go.
Yikes.
Then we got Black Belly Rat. It's a 1 and a black, so 2 total for a 2/2 Phyrexian Rat. It's toxic 1, and whenever it dies, proliferates. So you're trying to attack with it, and you're basically forcing them to kill it. And then whenever they do, you're gonna get to proliferate. So that's pretty awesome. Then we got the Branch Light Stalker. So it's a 1 and a green for a Phyrexian Elf Scout, 3/1 toxic 2. So pretty nice stuff there. So
Toxic.
the theme here, I can smell it.
Where's Britney Spears?
Oh yeah. Know that you're toxic. Anyway, P silent siphoner. That's definitely not the pronunciation of that card.
It is now.
P silent. We got Grateful Apparition, 1 and a white for a 1/1 flying spirit. Whenever it does combat damage to a player or planeswalker, proliferate. Then Jawbone Duelist, 1 and a white for a 1/1 double strike Phyrexian Soldier, toxic 1. So Destroyer, I've always been a singer. Plague Stinger, so 1 and a black for a 1/1 flying infect insect horror. So first time we're seeing a non-toxic and actually just straight good old-fashioned infect as a flyer as well. So trying to get those on, and we have the ones that proliferate with it. So it's looking good so far. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, if it sucks, just let me know. Anyway, Lady C.
All right, so we got some more of that big deck synergy. Slaughter Singer, a 2 drop for a toxic 2/2. Whenever another creature you control with a toxic attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Then we got our old buddy Finn, who's a Death Touch 1/3, and then whenever a creature you control with a Death Touch deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters.
More on that later.
And then Bloated Contaminator. This is a 3 drop for a 4/4 trample toxic 1. Ooh, trample with toxic.
Oh yeah.
Whenever Bloated Contaminator deals combat damage to a player, proliferate. That is a lot for a 3 drop, man.
Yeah, that's freaking just like No Hands is saying in the chat. Pogs. I mean, that's poggers as it fucking gets, especially in this deck that you're building. Like everything's about getting poison counters on and then proliferating them up to spread out your toxicity.
Smack that
everywhere.
Ass.
So if you're dealing combat damage with a 4/4 trample and proliferating after, gross. Absolutely gross. Exactly, for 3 CMC. I mean, that's insane, y'all. That's absolutely insane. Anyway, some more. Let's talk about Annex Sentry. So it's 2 and a white for a 1/4 Phyrexian Cleric. It's a toxic 1. Whenever it enters the battlefield, exile target artifact or creature an opponent controls with mana value 3 or less until the Sentry leaves the battlefield. So a little bit of control there. I mean, I'll say it. It's a little bit of control, but it's small control. A little teeny tiny thing. So the next one is Champion of Lambholt.
Champion!
1 and 2 green, so 3 total for a 1/1 human warrior. Here's the fun part. Creatures with power less than Champion of Lambholt's power can't block creatures you control. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on Champion of Lambholt. So the thing is once you start getting the +1/+1 counters on Champion, things with less power than Champion cannot block your creatures. So now all your toxic little guys are going to get through unblocked. Ridiculous.
I mean, that could have you win in one swing, depending on what you got.
Pretty much. And then we got Core Prowler. So it's just a 4-drop, generic mana, 2/2, artifact creature horror. Just good old-fashioned infect there. But whenever it is put into a graveyard from anywhere or from the battlefield, or excuse me, to say exiled too? No, just put into a graveyard from the battlefield, proliferate. So you better exile this guy, or I'm gonna keep adding poison counters to your ass.
To yes.
Lady C.
Synergy. Might Overseer. So this is for 3 and a white. It is a 4/2 with first strike. As long as it's your turn, creature tokens you control get +1/+0 and have first strike. And then for 3 and a Phyrexian white, which means 2 life, correct?
Yeah, 2 life.
Okay.
Or you can pay 1 white. So either a white or 2 life.
Okay. Then you create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian might artifact creature token with toxic 1, and this creature can't.
Yeah.
And then we got Necrogen Rot Priest. For 2, a black and a green, you get a 1/5 toxic 2. This is a Phyrexian zombie cleric. Whenever a creature you control with toxic deals combat damage to a player, that player gets an additional poison counter. Ow! Ooh. Then for 1 and a black and a green, target creature you control with toxic gains death touch until end of turn.
So you remember we had Finn back there?
Finn.
The Deathbringer, creatures with death touch give poison counters when they land. Yeah, that matters.
Urban Daggertooth, 2 and 2 green. We got a 4/3 dinosaur with vigilance and enrage. Whenever Urban Urban Daggertooth is dealt damage, proliferate.
Ooh!
Ah.
A lot of proliferation and a lot of things that it's like piss you off proliferation too, because you have to, he's just going to keep swinging, right? So you have to like deal damage to him either by blocking or whatever. And whenever it gets damage done to him, well, now we're just going to add all those counters that we already added to you from the other stuff. And like some of the stuff that we talked about earlier is like when it dies, it proliferates and then it has infect and toxic already on it. It's gross. Synergy creatures continued. So we're starting to get into our 4 CMC and 5 CMC. So we got Venomous Brutalizer. It's 2 and 2 green for a 4/4 Phyrexian Knight with toxic 3, correct?
Yeah,
am I seeing that right?
3.
Damn.
Yowzas.
So when it enters the battlefield, I can pay an additional 2, so 1 and a green. If I do, I get to proliferate. Golly, man, this
would be an annoying deck to play.
Eesh. All right, so Seraph, the Viper's Fang is in here as well. This is a great card. It's 2 and 2 green for a 3/4 legendary human warlock. Other tapped creatures we control are going to have death touch. Remember, we just talked about death touch and poison counters and all that with Finn, right? Mm-hmm. Other untapped creatures you control have hexproof. So we're going to get some built-in protection for our creatures when they're untapped, and then they're going to be extremely difficult to deal with when they are tapped. Then I can pay 1 and tap, and then I can untap another creature or land that I control. So I can use it in a plethora of ways, but this is going to be a gross one.
Card.
Yeah, that's some synergy for yes. Another new one here, we got Norn's Choirmaster. It's 3 and 2 white for a 5/4 Phyrexian Angel with flying and first strike. Whenever a commander we control attacks, enters the battlefield or attacks, we get to proliferate.
Oh.
Oh man, it's funny. It's not really funny for y'all, but it's fun for me whenever I'm playing it against you. Anyway, Lady C.
Nimraiser Paladin. For 4 and a black, you get a 4/4 Phyrexian Knight with toxic 2. Whenever it enters the battlefield, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to your hand. A little reanimation there.
Like it.
Reaper of Sheoldred. For 4 and a black, we get a 2/5 creature horror with infect. Whenever a source deals damage to Reaper of Sheoldred, that source's controller gets a poison counter.
It's just so rude.
So, and then we have a Phyrexian Swarmlord for 4 and 2 green. We get a 4/4 insect horror with infect. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a 1/1 green insect creature token with infect onto the battlefield for each poison counter your opponents have.
Jeez. So if we've been dishing out poison counters and all that, now we are making infect creatures tokens for each poison counter that we have given out. And Akala is saying, I don't feel bad for any Alesh deck that she makes from now on. And I mean, I gotta say that's probably pretty solid.
I feel like each new set that comes out just gets more and more beefed up.
It just makes us like more rude players. You know what I mean? Like, we used to not be this way. Wizards made us this way.
You've changed us.
Just saying.
You've changed us.
Okay, I think that was okay. Cool, yeah. So let's talk about a last couple synergy creatures here. Paladin.
Phyrexianityϕ Rex.
We're gonna get to that.
I know,
one.
it's just really cool.
It is awesome. It is awesome. We'll get to it.
Okay, sorry.
No, I'm excited. No, we'll start with this one. Paladin of Predation, right?
Predation.
5 and 2 green, so 7 total for a 6/7 Phyrexian Knight, toxic 6,
Eesh.
and it can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. So pretty rude. Lady C, I'm gonna let you do this.
Okay. Phyrexianityϕ Rex. 4 and 3 green, you get an A8 Phyrexian dinosaur. What the fuck? This spell can't be countered. Trample, ward 4, haste, toxic 4. What in the ass?
Bro. That.
Oh man.
That's rude.
I want that in my dinosaur deck.
This says that had haste too. Oh my gosh, it has haste. That's
haste. I want that in my dinosaur deck. I want it in all my green decks.
You put it in a green deck. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't
All
even
of
need to be
them.
toxic theme. It's just like, that's
So good.
That's ridiculous.
I love it.
Ugh.
I wish it was legendary. I would like make a whole deck out of it.
Maybe just build around it.
I don't know. I
Maybe
really
throw in a
like
Galta deck. That'd be
dinosaurs.
fun. Anyway, y'all, for missing any creatures, these are just kind of a general outline. Most of these are in the deck in the link below. But if we've missed any, please let us know via chat, via comments.
Yeah, or if you just think you know a card that you think would be badass.
Yeah. Let us know. Let us know. Oh, go ahead.
No. By all means. After you.
So the last couple things, we're going to talk about some enchantments. So I got Necrogen Communion. So it's a 1 and a black. It really is small.
That's what you said.
Enchantment aura. Enchant creature you control. Enchanted creature has toxic too. Here's why I would mostly do it, because most of my creatures are going to have toxic, right? Like, there's only a few that don't. But what I like here is when an enchanted creature dies, return that card to the battlefield under your control. That's the main reason I want this one. Have a little extra reanimation, right? Then I got Skrelv's Hive. This one's going to be super annoying, I can already tell. It's 1 and a white. It's an enchantment, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature token with toxic 1, and the creature can't block, but you're just going to constantly be making tokens every single upkeep.
And it also has corrupted?
Yeah. Oh, it does. Corrupted.
Yeah.
As long as an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, that's the corrupt thing. Creatures we're going to control have, toxic have life link.
Ooh.
So it isn't gonna matter if you lose that 1 life. They're gonna have life link. So, and you're just gonna keep swinging with those little guys, because what's the point of having them around? Like, we can't block with them, right? So we're just gonna constantly swing at them. Once we have our 3 toxic counters, which is easy at this point, they're gonna have life link. And we're just gonna be gaining life and putting pressure on the opponent.
Ooh, what is this? Goliath Hatchery.
Go for it.
Oh man, 4 and 2 green. When Goliath Hatchery enters the battlefield, create 2 3/3 green Phyrexian beast creature tokens with toxic 1. And then it also has corrupt at the beginning of your upkeep. If an equipment has If an opponent so small has 3 or more poison counters, choose a creature you control. Then draw cards equal to its total toxic value.
Oof.
Oh.
Pretty disgusting. It really is small over here.
Really good green cards in here.
It really is. And I'm a big fan. I'm here for it.
Y'all know how I feel about green. I still haven't changed my mind about that.
Yes. Green is still king in our eyes. Didn't add these in there, just these. So I think we're done with that one, with the synergy and all that. Let's talk about some other fun cards. So we do have fun, believe it or not.
Fun for us.
It's not just, yeah, that's true, actually. It's maybe not as fun for y'all, but it's very fun for us. These spells will be. So, oh no.
Fun spells.
They're fun spells. I don't know if we got that across or not, but they're fun spells. Don't know why this is happening here. I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway, fun spells. There's Grim Affliction, right? Is that what that is? Grim Affliction? That's what that says, right?
Oh my god, yes.
It's 2 and a black, so 3 total. I'm gonna put a -1/-1 counter on target creature and then proliferate. The next one, Courage in Crisis, 2 and a green. I'm gonna put a 1/1 counter on my target creature, and then I'm gonna proliferate. And then here is a ridiculously fun one for us. White Sun's Twilight is a new one from the set X. So pay X, and then 2 white. You're gonna gain X life. Create X 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature token with toxic, and this creature can't block. And then if X is 5 or more, we're gonna destroy all the other creatures on the board. So,
yikes.
Once again, not fun for y'all. They have a 1-drop that does the same thing as Grim. No? Whisper of Dross? Oh, I'm gonna have to figure that one out. Yeah, let us know if we're missing that one, because I haven't heard of that one yet. Anyway, so that's it. Don't do it.
That's it. So, yeah.
Anyway, what I'd like to see is what y'all have to say. So just like it was a perfect lead in there, I'm gonna see if this works. Oh.
Did it work?
Oh, it did!
It worked! Why did
Whisper
it not
of
work
Draws.
before?
Okay, so hold on. Boom. Okay, so No Hands is saying they have a 1-drop that does the same thing as Grim and saying it's Whisper of Draws. Hold on. We can find this out. Whisper of Draws. You're lying, aren't you? Oh no, here it is. Target. Oh, okay. So this spell that we did.
Not a permanent counter though. It's only till end of turn.
Well, that's fine. Yeah.
But you still get to proliferate though.
Yeah. So definitely put in Whisper of Draws. Definitely put that in because it's a 1-drop and it's target creature gets -1/-1 till end of turn. Proliferate. So yeah, that's a no-brainer. Ka says the deck looks amazing, or looks brutal, yet amazing. And that's kind of what we were going.
In Magic, I feel like brutal and amazing are synonymous.
I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that. Anything else that we're missing, y'all? I'm trying to think. Well, let me see. Had some other people pop in here that were saying. Saw one more that I missed. Damn it. Hold on.
I mean, what is the general consensus? I don't personally feel like that was a control deck. I know that it had a lot of meanness in it. And control is mean, but that doesn't necessarily mean that mean is control.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, because I consider control as like not letting the other opponent do anything.
Yeah.
So that's what control is to me. But when you're removing, and I mean, because that's what we have mostly, it's like removal and then just the proliferate and the poison counters. I don't feel like that's really.
Yeah, I don't feel that way either.
I mean, I don't feel that way.
But there are some people that feel that way. Let's talk about what Jawes was saying earlier. So we need enchantment removal. So just like he was talking about earlier, because he was saying Solemnity will get played, and that means that players aren't going to be able to get counters. So we're not going to be able to add those counters.
So we've got to have something to mitigate that. Also,
what I just thought about, freaking Vorinclex will ruin our shit too. Ooh. Because it'll be half the counters rounded down, which would be 0.
Yeah.
Well, depending on how many. Like if it's a toxic 1, they're going to get 0 counters. Our toxic 2s only give them 1. You know, so on and so forth.
Yeah. Vorinclex would be difficult.
You still can kind of.
That's why we have the removal.
Yeah, that's why you kill it. That's why we have the removal part. That's what we were trying to say. Y'all calling it control, which it's not. Just smart. We could have.
It's preparation.
It didn't have blue in the color identity, so I couldn't even add a counterspell Jaw West.
Maybe we
Destroyer.
should put Vorinclex in there so that he can double the counters.
Ooh. See, now I will preface with this. I was trying to keep it like around $150, but let's talk about some freaking, if you don't have a budget, Vorinclex.
Or if you're just building an untapped deck.
Or if you build an untap, dump Vorinclex into this. Because, and I mean, you can do either one, but probably the one that gives you extra counters, and then they get half the counters rounded down. So what is it? Monstrous Raider?
I think so. Pretty sure that's the one. Or, get a proxy.
Yeah, that's what we do.
That's what we do.
With Monstrous Raider. Yeah, that's the one that gives us extra counters. So yeah, I mean, definitely do that one. As far as anything else goes, I mean, could do like Cathar's Crusade, I guess. Get like 1/1 counters for anything. You could do that. What did you say, No Hands?
Toxic or infect.
So toxic, I would say you can do either one. You know what I mean? Like you can do, I would say toxic only because Ixhel, well, we're still figuring that out. Ixhel seems, because they already has the toxic thing going on. You can do either one. Like that's the thing. Like if we don't have a budget or we're proxying it, we can do Blightsteel Colossus. That's an 11/11 trample infect creature. It's the most expensive card I can think of off the top of my head. And we could just run it like that. We could put in a shit ton of infect creatures into there. I'm trying to think which one would be better. They are making some really good toxic things that are synergized, but they all kind of work the same way. I'd say if you don't have a budget, infect, because like the infect creatures are ridiculous that you could put in here. Like you could just spend a shit ton of money and throw a bunch of infect creatures in here. But if you're just kind of trying to like keep it easier on the wallet, like we're doing here, I'd go more heavy toxic. But there were some infect in there,
Maybe just a little bit of both.
Yeah, a little blend. Because there's some really good
toxic.
Like
infection.
the ones we were just talking about, like bloated bloated contaminator or whatever it's called. Contaminant.
No, I just made.
Wow. 3-drop, and whenever it's a 4/4 trample, toxic 2 or whatever, and then proliferates whenever we deal combat damage. I mean, that's way better than any infect creature you're going to put out there besides like Blightsteel, So yeah, I'd say that. Anyway, if we're missing anything, please comment below.
Comment. Get at us. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like. Yeah.
Hit the like button. Speaking of liking.
Sub to the YouTube.
To the YouTube, to the Twitch, to anything.
Definitely come over to the Twitch, because that way you can pop in.
We're about to hit that after party.
Yes, we're going to the after party. We do that afterward.
Usually how that works.
Yeah.
Anyway, y'all. Twitch fam, stick around. Celestials are about to have that after party. YouTube, thank you so much for watching.
Yeah.
We will catch y'all on the next one, and the rest of the Celestials we'll see you in just a second. But until next time, I am Striker Lighthearter.
I am Lady Celestria.
Together we are Celestial Strike. See y'all next time. Take it sleazy.
Bye.
Peace.